Hello, and for those of you who have watched some of my previous videos, welcome back. For anyone watching this for the first time, welcome. Uh, I have a new toy that I'm going to show you today, and I'm so excited. Uh, I have this. This is the SKF bearing puller. In an earlier video, I showed that I'm using this backwards because if I use it with the curves towards the bearing, it tends to kind of don't pull straight, and sometimes it slips and digs into the shaft. So I'm using it backwards, so I get a flat surface against the bearing. Uh, I have I have a kind of like a it's a nice tool, but I have kind of a hate relationship with this bearing puller because it's floppy. It's not very tight. It's not very, what should I call it, accurate. And uh, this is a short shaft, but once you get the longer ones where you have to put the extensions on, yeah, it's difficult to get it set up straight. So anyway, I'm just gonna pull off this bearing here before we move on to my new toy. So as you can see, this is the pump model. There's an earlier model that I also have, and that's with where you have to screw in like a center screw to the pressure. Here I'm just pumping it, and it's a good tool. It is. It is. It's just it could have been, well, better designed. So the bearing comes off nice and easy. Pulls out. And then we're gonna take a closer look. It's not so bad on this 163 compressor. On the 204, the jaws on this bearing puller, they really dig into the material before the bearing lets go, and it's a pain because yeah, there's a small yeah, there's a small dent there that I'm going to have to file down before I put the new bearing on. And yeah, no, I don't like this. Uh, so we're going to move on to we're going to remove. I'm going to need some parts from this one that we're going to use on my new toy. Just bear with me here. I'll just disassemble this, take off the parts I need.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Have you ever struggled with curly fries O-rings that are impossible to get into the groove? Here's a top tip. Take a pail, fill it with hot water, hot to the touch, but not uncomfortable. Dip the O-ring in the hot water, swirl it around, and then take it out and watch the magic happens. Just remember, as soon as you take it out, dry it off and set it in with oil. Ta-da!
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
And now we're going to get rid of this SKF bearing puller. Don't want to need that anymore, because here comes my new toy. Look at that. Looks pretty, doesn't it? So I took some measurements of the bearing, of the shaft and the distances, and I had one of our technical drawers draw up a bearing puller for me. And then I sent it out to a couple of companies to have it machined, and one of my my trusted ones, they could do it. Look at that. Perfect circle. Perfect fit. We're gonna test bearing. Slides right in. There's no pressure on the bearing, there's no pressure on the shaft. It's just very tight fit. So let's try it on the actual bearing here. And what I'm hoping with this puller is that it won't pull off center, and it's gonna make my life a whole lot easier. Let's see what happens. So the nut is finger tightened, but as you can see, it still rotates freely. There's not a lot of play. I think I have like 0.25 millimeters clearance on the bearing. As I found out later, the only downside to this puller is that I have to open it up wider before I can thread it over the bearings. But other than that, it seems like a pretty good new toy. And something I really like about this design is, watch, I let it go and it's stable, it's standing there, it's straight. It doesn't flop down like the SKF one does. Now this is the moment of truth. I really, as you can see, it doesn't go all the way in there and rest on the discs. But yeah, we'll let that slide. I could have put on the extensions, but then it would have been like 6 feet longer. But just look how well it stays in position. If it had been the SKF puller on this, it would have fallen down, and yeah, you'd need like a pair of extra hands to keep it in place while you set everything up. As you can see, the bearing is coming out nicely. There's no sometimes when it's really tight, you get like the ding, and then it jumps out like a couple of millimeters. And with the SKF one, then everything is off center and you have to reset it. But with this one, since you have the bearing in the center, you don't have to do that. It comes off very easily. No damage, as I can see. Let's go in for a closer look. Yep. So as you can see, there's no, the focus of this camera really sucks, but there's no dings or dents as compared to on the female rotor. There's, yeah, you can't see it because of focus, but there's a dent just there that I'm going to have to file down. And I had so much confidence in this design that I made 3 more, 3 in total. The 163 is the same for all 4 bearings. On the 204 there's 2 different sizes, so these are for the 204. Looking forward to using them. Until next time, bye bye.